niggas got garbage down the way. Hold up. Hold up. Look out for the cops. Cash food. Hold up. 2 for 5s over here, baby. Hold up. 2 for 5s. Niggas got garbage down the way. Hold up. Cash saying everything around me. Cleaned it. Yeah. Check this old fly shit out. Hold up. Hold up. Look out for the cops. Cash food. Hold up. 2 for 5s over here, baby. Hold up. 2 for 5s. Niggas got garbage down the way. Hold up. Cash saying everything around me. Cleaned it. Yeah. Check this old fly shit out. Hold up.
All right. It's your host, Osiris, known as Enlil. Al Ghani Hakim Asaru, and I'm here with the guy Shadow, the philosopher. And today we're going to be going into a lot of things about philosophy, and we're going to be going into historical matters dealing with philosophies and the philosophers who came up with a lot of philosophies and the abstracts of philosophies from reality of evidence of what happened from the Egyptians and the Sumerian tablets and how the ancient people used to live back then from tribes. So we got the brother Shadow in here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, if you don't know me, my name is Shadow. Well, my name is not actually Shadow. I'm the Injas. Injas stands for connection. And I represent the first step, which is Luton.
He said he represents the first step of Luton. That's what he said, Luton. So this brother Luton, who called himself Shadow, he's a philosopher, and he came out with some philosophy
it's called the Shape of
Shadow. And the base and the reason why we having this this live YouTube video right now, because me and his brother had a discussion, and I was letting the brother know that I am well fluent in historical matters and also in philosophy. So what the brother wanted to bring today, like earlier when we was on here, he was talking about tribes and family and what's the difference between a tribe and a family, as like immediate family, extended family, and how, you know, all of it is like still family, but it's still family but not different. So we was letting him know that extended family is something that's different from immediately family. That's why they have the word extended on family, and they have immediately on the word family. So with that, I'm gonna also share with the audience a lot of evolution process of what I know to be facts and what can be researched on what I say, and whatever this brother here have to bring up or whatever he want to bring in, and that's how we're gonna start this out. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and throw the first blow or whatever you want to say and bring in however you want to say.
Yeah, so I want to bring it in. The first question is it natural for a child to outgrow their family? I would say no. Families should grow together because a family is only a group of individuals. If you're going to go to an individual that's outside of your family, it's because you and your family haven't aligned your purposes. This is what kingdoms were made on. That's what I would like to say.
Okay, I don't disagree with you on what you're saying, brother, about, you know, that no one should outgrow their family. I don't think you can outgrow your family. I don't even know how you can outgrow your family. But I know as when I was coming up and I was raised that I had my cousins and my immediate family around, but we all didn't stay together in the same household. But we all came together at grandmother's house, and that's where we'll link up at, and we'll play in the yard, and you know, we'll go out from there and whatever. But after that's over with, a certain time, like maybe 9, 10 o'clock, we all will get back in the car with our moms, or if you stay with grandma, you'll be at grandma's house. But we'll get in the car with our moms and we'll go our separate ways to our immediate family. Like my mom and my father and my sister and my brother and my cousins will also do the same thing and go with their mom and brothers and sisters and go their direction.
Now I would say that's due to not only the construction or the structure of the civilization's current state, which is Maddie, go in the room, which is based on the fact that hold on, give me a minute.
Well, the brother while he's getting his child, straightening things out, we just basically having a conversation for people can hear this on record what we are saying and what's reasonable or what we are saying. And like I said, I'm not disagreeing with what the brother has said because I don't think no one can outgrow your family. Like I need to ask him too, like what does he mean by outgrowing your family? Because I noticed when we young, our parents may say to us, one day you're gonna have a family, and they already our family, but they mentioned one day you are gonna have a family. So basically they saying one day you are gonna have kids, you're gonna have a wife, and you're gonna have your own place. So that's what I got from my mom saying one day you're gonna have your own family. But I don't think that's outgrowing a family.
See,
so I want to ask you what you mean by outgrowing a family.
Yeah, so that when parents say that you're gonna grow up and have your own family, they leave that they literally mean like you're gonna make your own new family, like that's your family. So it's supposed to be a family. You have your baby, you build first. The town is built by whoever decides to build a town. You move into a town, you have a baby, your baby grows up. It should move into a house in your neighborhood. Because once you distance your family, you no longer become immediate family. You feel what I'm saying? Immediate is connected by distance. If you're halfway across the world, you can't be my immediate family. I can't immediately get to you. You get what I'm saying?
I agree on what you're saying. Like immediate family is like everyone who you consist or who you would consider living in one household, right? That's what you would consider immediate family, right?
I consider immediate family those who live in your environment. You feel what I'm saying? So in a village, your immediate family would still live in that village. You can leave to go do like a job. You feel what I'm saying? Or to go travel the world to perfect your craft, but your home should still be in the same ecosystem as your family. Once you leave that ecosystem, you become a part of a different family. Once you take that money or that food or that product or that talent to a business or another household based on the fact that you don't combine once your family once two people marry. So say for instance, like you have a man and a female. The man has one family, the female has another. When they come together, they should be united. You feel what I'm saying? And not only should they be united, but the families that are connected to them should be united as one too. So that family should become one in itself. However, people are raised in the ill-correct manner, which is where they divide. So you either choose if you're going to chill with this family more or you're going to chill with that family more, instead of it all becoming one ecosystem.
Well, if you look at the way things happen from the roots, then you'll see why there's tribes. Why from the beginning, where we come from, or what we would go by, people evolving. When people evolve, why did in the first place did they become tribes and clans? Why did they not stay immediately family? Why would one person or a clan say, well, this is my property, or this is my land, or my space, give me my space, and you and your little family need to get their space because your family, and well, I'm gonna put it like this: me and you, Shadow, we can be immediately family, and you my brother, but you go out and you have kids with some woman I don't even know, but you brought her into our family. She have her own tribe, her own family. You brought her in with our family. You mix your blood with her, and no telling what her tribe does. Her tribe can be in voodoo. Her tribe can be in spiritual stuff that's not connected with your spiritual family. So she bringing in that blood, which is in your daughter now, or your son. So your son is in my house, and he's tearing up stuff. He don't act like my son. My sons have our blood. Our blood may be humble people, but the blood of her tribe was warriors. You see what I'm saying? So in your son or daughter DNA, it's just automatic. It's in her or him to just be ruthless, tearing up stuff. And I'm not that type of person. Or, in my settings, I don't like stuff to be tore up because my kids, they don't mess up nothing. So you and your family have to go. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, you spend your time over there, you do this, you do that, because my family don't do what your family does in my place, in my space. So that's the reason why clans and tribes came about.
Yes, I understand that. Now, just because you're in a separate tribe or clan, well, because clan is families, you feel me, and then the tribe is groups of families or groups of clans. So just because you're in a different family or a different tribe doesn't mean that doesn't have to remain the same ecosystem. Have you ever heard the statement, "It takes a village to raise a child"? The same.
Well, yeah, I heard that, and hold up. I'm gonna answer your question, but I'm gonna put actual experience of what you're talking about, because when I was raising up, I'm going on 40. I'm 39. So back then, and I'm quite sure your mom probably told you almost similar things. We get whoopings from the uncle, the grandma, and the auntie, and the mom when you do something bad, and maybe somebody in the neighborhood. But it's not like that now. You don't have kids getting spanking from the auntie, the mom, and everything else, because it caused conflict within that just tribal family. You won't want your brother beating on your daughter. You know what I'm saying? You won't want that. But back then it was more respected like that, because time has changed, and that's what I'm trying to tell you, dealing with spiritual aspects of how things from the 80s or the 60s into the 80s into the 2000 into the 2018. So things change. If you don't see how things are changing spiritual and also genetically, then you won't pick up on what's really going on.
All right. So what I have to say to that is, regardless of the facts that things change, they only change because some things are not maintained. So if you don't maintain the source of what you would consider morality, then you will have immoral people. If you don't retain the fact that it's okay for you to chastise my child as long as my child is wrong, then you won't retain the whole the out. You feel what I'm saying? The back out, the backput, the output that comes with that child being raised by multiple people in the village. So the reason they say it takes a village to raise a child is because the village is usually all family. You feel what I'm saying? It's not because Brenda down the block, who you just know from school, is supposed to raise your child. That's why things got misconstrued. When you got people down the block talking about, "I will slap you," and your mother know I will slap you, and that's not your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, if they're not related to you at all, but it's a friend of the family, that's where problems come in. You can't be a friend of the family, because that's like saying someone else with a business can come in my business and tell the people in my business what to do because they know my boss. That's not how it should work. You feel what I'm saying? That's a reaching of power. And because the system had set itself up like that, it destroyed those type of bonds between actual families or people who consented to be families through marriage or through bondage, is what I'm saying.
Okay, now in the aspect of how you put that, like as if things wouldn't have changed, then the system would have still been in place. I agree with that, because the reason why I agree with that, because your child will still be getting spanked by the neighborhood, even though what you had said I don't agree with, because you said it wasn't an immediate family member. Like I told you when I made the statement earlier, I was getting spankings by the neighborhood people that weren't my immediate family. But just because we lived in the same neighborhood back then, we was all like family. Even though we were blood related, but we were still like a village of a tribal people. And it's still like that today, but the rules have changed. Now you have people that live next door to each other, don't even speak to each other, and definitely won't let you beat their child because they don't know you. They don't know if you're a child molester. They don't know if you're a killer. They don't know really too much about you. But see, back in the days, like in the 60s and 70s, it was a more struggle construction going on. So people stuck together more then. So we had to raise the kids in that same type of manner as this your brother, even if they wasn't blood related, this your brother. And if her son do something bad, that's my child. So I'm gonna beat him as well. And I'm not his physical father, but I'm a chastise him too, because I chastise him, my daughter or son, because I want to see them do the right thing and stick together. but it's not like that today.
But that's improper because like you like to refer to like animals. So I'll give you an example based on the zoo kingdom. A tiger is not gonna hit another tiger's baby if they're not related in a sense. Like the mother tiger, another mother tiger is not just gonna come up and slap the other mother tiger's baby. You feel what I'm saying? That's like you popping on my man's type shit. Like you just woke up to me and you be like, oh, I don't like the way your child was moving, so I slapped him. That's a beef from a difference where my nephew was misbehaving, so I put him in his place. So I set him straight. My niece was misbehaving, so I set her straight. Your next door neighbor that's not related to you in any form, shape, or way should never not only be included in your village or your village mindset, but it shouldn't be included in your family. They shouldn't be included in behavioral analysis of which they could say that's the wrong thing to do for that person. No, that's wrong in your family. But in my family, it's okay to curse. You feel what I'm saying? So when you bring that family together, whoever has the moral high ground not only has to be humble, but they have to lead by example. You feel what I'm saying? So you don't, if your child do something bad because of the other child that's being bad, you don't say, see, when you came over here, now my child want to be bad. No, what you say is you fix your child, and then if you fix your child will fix that child. That's how it's supposed to work, because an adult raises a child influences friends, and friends influence other people. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what a concept, it starts with one individual, and then another individual link up, then it makes another individual, and then those two individuals create a bond which forms one identity of their family, and then that identity is reflected upon the child.
Well, I hear you, and you're right on a lot of stuff that you're saying, but I'm giving you experience of my childhood and exactly what we are talking about on the subject. Like I say, like you had people in the community back then, they was raising majority of all the kids, and all of us wasn't the same. See, me, I went to prison, I robbed, I sold drugs, but not all of my friends did that. Not all of them came up in a home, where their mom was playing numbers and selling liquor, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. Not all of them came up like that, but even though we stayed in the same community and witnessed the same violence and all the, the negative activities that was going on, not all of them chose to participate in that, participate in those things. But me and a couple of other my friends, we chose to go that route, and even in some of our family that was going on, but not in everyone home, even though they surrounded by this, but everyone did not, allow themselves to get attached to the negativity. Like for instance, I went to prison. I got in a lot of trouble, but I got friends that ain't getting no trouble. They got city jobs, they got their own business and stuff. Like a friend named Teacher Birdie, who I can speak of in personally. He's never been in no trouble. You know what I'm saying? And he hung around us since we grew up together, and I was always the bad one. He hung around us. We fought in school together and everything, but when it came to selling drugs as a child, he never did none of that stuff. He never went out and just did crazy stuff, breaking the cars. It wasn't in him. It wasn't in his blood to do stuff like that. That's what I'm telling you.
Yes. So that's where mentality plays in. It's mentality versus circumstance. So if your circumstance, puts you in a situation where you have to do things to survive, because survival is the first step. If you have to do things to survive, to maintain your stability, then that's when your mind decides, well, I can go this route or I can go that route. Now, from there, it's based on morality. So if you were never taught not to steal, you would find stealing okay. And then it would be extremely hard once you acquire that behavior or that system to break you out of it. So this is why they call it rehabilitation. This is what prison is supposed to do. Rehabilitate you, teach you that there is a such thing as morals when it comes to stealing. However, they don't teach you that because, the system is full of shit. But this is why I say when you're raised, depending on how you're raised, depending on how your adults around you look at life or put you in situations, you decide from there which one is more important. going the route of getting money or going the route of getting education, going the route of shooting at niggas or going the route of shooting hoops. You feel what I'm saying? So it's based on the individual, right? I said that first. So we understand individuality is its own thing, but individuality plays across a spectrum of things. So you obtain individuality through circumstance, and then through circumstance you process those situations through mentality. Is what I'm saying. So that forms your behavior.
Okay, I agree with that, and I also want to go back to what you were saying about the animals. About you saying another tiger or tiger is slapping another tigress cub or something. But no, but when you look at the animal kingdom, you will see a lion king that want to rule a territory, and if it's already a family in that territory, and that lion king want to take that territory, he would fight the father for that territory, and if the father lose, that lion king cubs have to die as well. Why? Because the lion king cubs can grow up and want to take the territory back. So after the father lose the territory battle, the kids got to die, and no one do nothing about it. The mom, nothing, because the father is either dead or hurt and ran off somewhere and left the territory, while the new lion king took over this territory and the kids have to go. So that's the perspective of showing you about the bloodline of how things work, even in spirits. Spirits work the same way.
See, well, that's based off primitive mindset, you know. So it's possible. You feel what I'm saying? Because people deal in possibility. Animals deal in certainty. So it's certain that if I don't eat, I'm gonna starve. It's certain to them that this lion is gonna grow up to be able to fuck my lions. You feel what I'm saying? So they're not gonna be linked by blood. So it's more like I'm gonna fuck your tiger bitch, and you can't say shit about it because I'm a grown lion now, and that's not actually my sister. That's how they're thinking about it. But we have, a sense of common sense to say that if I go into a relationship with a female, I'm not going to have this female neglect her children because they're not my children. That's why you have the whole stepfather thing or stepmom. We understand that we have a moral setting that if we come into a new family, we are obligated to not only take care of the wife that we have attached to or the husband that we have attached to, but everything that encompasses that individual. So basically, when you're building a family with someone, you don't go up to them and be like, damn bitch, you got a kid, I can't fuck you. Or damn bitch, you got a kid, I gotta kill your son, your daughter, and then I can fuck you and give you my babies. You feel what I'm saying? That's the difference from us and animals. That's what I'm trying to say. If they're primitive, we're not primitive.
But at the same time, when you do research and when you know about biology and anatomy, you'll know that we are primitive. You'll also know that humans are mammals. Humans just another mammal, just more intelligent. Like you got some species of the mammal family are more intelligent than the other species. Like you have some monkeys, some branches of the monkeys are more smarter than the other monkeys. Like we could take a chimpanzee, for instance, against a orangutan. So we knowing that these are same species from the same bloodline or same ancestor line, but one has more intelligence than another. So that's the same way as with humans. Humans do the same thing as animals, and you put it in the form that we reason. Yes, we reason, but animals reason as well. When one animal going to take over a territory, it's a reason why he's going to take over a territory. He may see that it's more food come in that territory, it's more water over by that territory, it's more safer in this territory, and then you got this family living in this territory that don't belong there. So he take it over, and he want to start a new family or stuff like that. That's what happened. That's the same thing with man. Man do the same thing and have done the same thing and continue to do the same thing. Now to get back on what I was saying, what you were saying about you reason as a husband, wife, and kids. Mans do the same thing. They'll see your sister or they'll see another woman and stuff like that and think just like an animal. You know what I'm saying? They don't actually reason on everything. They only reason when they think on instance or out of lust, which is a form of instance. Now, to get back on what you were saying about we not primitive, man is just another mammal. And we could break that down when we go back to the embryo stage or the fetus stage, or even to the semen going to the ovule, the egg of the woman and everything, and through the evolution process, the same way from the beginning evolution process. So when you know all of this, that's when you'll be able to come to terms and realize who you are and who you're dealing with. You're not different too much from the other species that's out there. And you are in the animal kingdom as well as they're in the animal kingdom or jungle. You're doing the same thing, just more intellectual with it. That's all.
Which means we're not primitive. This is what I'm saying. We can't be primitive beings if there's no other being more I guess not primitive than us. You get what I'm saying? So we're not primitive in that sense. We're actually intellectual beings, which means that we're higher than the primitive being, which would be animals, and then from animals it would be insects. And the thing that most people don't understand is that once you start comparing us to animals, you find that your moral compass is damaged. You start following animals, so you think it's okay to come in your house and just piss on the wall. You wouldn't do that. That's because you're not an animal. Well, I mean, by definition, you're a mammal, but scientific definition. But in reality, you're not going to do animalistic things. Now, this is where you were saying that an animal will come into a territory and take it over because it seems more productive. Yes, and that's shown in the craft of business, or in the craft of relationship or sexuality. Or if some drug dealer was just like, hey, this block is more lucrative, I'm gonna take it from this nigga, I'm gonna gun him down, take his territory, take his street. Yeah, I understand that. But when it comes to building, you're gonna have to keep in mind that the only way someone can take something of yours is if that person or that person allows for them to take your thing, or that person allows themselves to be taken. And then if you're not doing your job, you give leadway for someone to take your lady or to take your man. You feel what I'm saying? It just might not be a qualified fit. You feel what I'm saying? If someone can come in your house, not beat you up, and say whatever they want to your wife, and then it becomes a thing where your wife feels it's okay to go and be with that person, that's based on her individuality. That's based on her mentality. That's based on her identity. And you saw that identity in her, which is why you feel the need to try and kill that guy who's taking your wife. When in all reality, it's going to be a million guys like him trying to take your wife. It's up to your wife to behave as a wife. It's up to the husband to behave as a husband. You feel what I'm saying? That bond is between y'all. And once you allow that bond to be used and abused, then that's where you get that animosity. That's where the 7 deadly sins play. You feel what I'm saying? That's where you get depression and obsessed. That's when mental disorders come into existence.
Okay, I was hearing what you were saying, and that go back to us being childs, like kids and stuff, and we were trained. So we were trained to have some type of morals, right? So it depends on the household of the individual. That determine their morals, right? Because you have a person brought up as a Christian, that would determine their morals. You have a person brought up as a Catholic, that will determine their morals. Now you have some people that's not brought up either. You have some people that's brought up as atheists. That will determine their morals, right? Then you got some people that just been brought up in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about straight street. Like they know good from bad just from observing and experience. But as living in the actual morality of going to church every day when they were small and stuff, some people never experienced that. So the morality of people is not always the same. So
I said that's individuality.
Yeah. That's why I'm putting that together with what you said about when you said a woman should, know how to be herself when, she shouldn't cross the line. Then it depends on her moral, because you got to remember a man and a woman, like you said, it's just another mammal. So we live off instincts as well, and we think, but we also reason. But we live more closer to our instincts than anything. Just like an animal got to eat, a man got to eat. An animal got to drink water, man got to drink water. An animal reason, man reason.
So this is where philosophy.
But an animal may not reason as high as a Homo sapien, what they call humans, because our intelligence are different. We evolve more than the species that been left behind, but it's still the same principles that apply to all things, even in the field where you growing in the plants. Even plants got their ways of how they communicate with each other, and it's way different, but they reason as well. You know what I'm saying? Some plants know how to, like grow or get in spots where they know it's more sunlight, so they aim towards that sunlight. So if you ever did an experiment with marijuana and stuff, you know how some people use the forensics, like they'll use like light, but it's not real light, but they'll trick the plant to think it's real light, but it's not the type of light of sunlight that the plant urge for, but it's light, so the plant grows towards the light. You see what I'm saying? Because they feel the heat, but it's not the actual heat of coming from the sun type heat.
This is where philosophy plays into being a discipline, or being disciplined, or having an academic discipline, or even sub-disciplines allow you to control those urges. So this is why religious people fast. You feel what I'm saying? And people are non-religious. Well, they don't have to be religious. Some people meditate. You feel what I'm saying? These are why they do these things, so they can control their urges. They can calm their thoughts. So that they're in control of their reality. That's why philosophy plays into all of this. Basically, wait, are you still on? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I had to plug on my back up. Yeah. Philosophy does plays in a lot of this, but I wanted to get back into what you were saying on dealing with the bloodline as well. That's just like, you notice like back then with the gangster movies and also in real life, that if someone can get to you, they get to the next of your kin, like your brother, your mother, your sister. They'll want to hurt them. Someone who had absolutely nothing to do with what you had caused on yourself. But exactly. They want to say, well, I'm going to get your mom because that's his blood. I know that it hurt him. Or I get his sister, somebody in his family I just got to get. Why you think they think like that? Why you think that philosophy like that?
I mean, you trying to weaken the mental state of your opponent so that you can physically harm them. This is what's being done. Now, what I'm saying is it's way harder to kill my mother while I'm in the same village or even the same house or even a house down from her than it is to kill her when I'm across the world. You feel what I'm saying? It's way easier to rape my children and pillage my village when I'm away than it is when I'm there. So divide and conquer literally means I'm going to divide you mentally, physically, emotionally, environmentally. I'm going to do everything I can to separate you from what makes you strong. And this is why people are divided today. Injas means connection, and it's broken into 4 stages of connection. In means connect. Jas means connecting. Jas, E-N-J-A-S means connected. And then E-N-J-A-S-T means connection. So I'm all about forming connections between the body and all external bodies, as well as all internal bodies. This is all the shape perception of one is about. Now, when we get into philosophy, the philosophy is written to describe a family that goes from 2 individuals. No, actually, it goes from an individual to 2 individuals to a family to a tribe to a civilization. And I wanted to encompass that because these are all connections that are being ignored because of the ideals of men who don't have a home. Now, if you give these people a home, if you start them with a family, then they will see how important it is to be a part of something. And if they don't see how important it is to be a part of something, then they will still be themselves. They will still oppose you. And if they do oppose you, then you have all right to lay them down.
All right. I agree with what you were saying on the part about, if you was there, it'd be more complicated for a person to attack your family because you'll be there to help. But if you think about it on what I said and how we live, not living in no tribal manner, even in tribal times, you even had people like different tribes coming up on tribal people, killing the whole tribe because it was some type of negotiation that went wrong, and you went back to your tribe and you led them back to your tribe where they found out where you live and end up killing your whole tribe. So why would you put all the eggs in one basket? So your whole family can get, hold up. So your whole family can get killed. Now at the same time, if you think about this, it's there for you, it's good for you to be there to try to protect your people. But I'm saying what I was using it as streetwise, if you end up getting yourself in some type of trouble or you getting blackmailed or something, and they don't know your whole bloodline. But if you live in this one big house, they got you. They got your kid. They finna wipe your whole bloodline out, bro. You know, you never existed. You won't exist no more. Your daughter won't be able to have kids. Your son won't, because everybody did. Now, if they only get you, then okay, then that's just a portion of the bloodline. The bloodline will still carry on. So go ahead.
I mean, if you're not finished, I can wait. I thought you was finished.
Well, I was just finna sum it up on the reason why. That's why I say you got to do historical research on why tribes became clans and broke off as tribal people anyway from the first place. Because if you go back, all people are one people, really. All are one. Well, what made them break up into tribes and move on and say, well, now you have kids, you and your kids need a little space. And, you know, I got grandkids now. My grandkids need space because they got a family now. And it just keeps going on instead of us just bundled up all in one place and run around everywhere. Well, you know, back then, which they did have that going on. What you're talking about, that actually went on. That's the reason why we have tribes and clans right now, because it didn't work. So people had to spread out and get their own space so they can have their own divinity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I would say that they didn't spread out because you know, they were being wiped out, because if they were being wiped out, they're going to get wiped out regardless if everyone knows where you're at. No one can hide, bro. You can't hide. So the only option you have is to fight. Now, if you haven't trained your people to fight or to prepare, if you're not prepared in your environment as well as in your physical ability as well as in your mental ability, then you've already lost. Now, dividing yourself and hoping that one day someone from your lineage gets really smart and revenges and gain revenge from the people who killed you, that's just what they would call wishful hoping, bro. Because at the end of the day, your family should be esteemed and protecting themselves. Because the first step is survival. Then they should be well equipped in education, in science, and building their civilization. We are literally made to create babies. Now, if that's the case, then that means that we are literally, no matter where we go and how many babies we drop off across the world, we are going to continue to make babies, which means that they belong with us. Now, if they belong with us, then that us creating a tribe or a family surrounded around an idea, being protected by the things that we do, is more important than us dividing. The reason we divided, I would say, is because of capitalism. Because the people need a environment where they feel most connected mentally instead of physically. This is why we introduced the individual's purpose, which is to align all purposes, the purpose of each individual with each individual. That way, the family grows as a united front instead of a divided front. If you want to build cars, he needs to know how that's going to play into him wanting to build houses. Now, y'all just cornered the market on housing or real estate, and then y'all cornered the market on automobiles. Now, that's what's supposed to happen. This is what businesses are doing. They're taking your talent and they're applying it to their vision instead of your family having their own vision and applying it to their own family. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel what you're saying, and I also agree what you're saying, because that's actually what's going on with the Mexicans. The Mexicans have their whole family, you know, doing construction work, and you got some that, you know, do the laboring part, some do the actual electricity part. So yeah, I feel what you're saying on that aspect. But you still can have a family where y'all spread it out and y'all still come together, just like them. They not all bunched up everywhere. Maybe they started out bunched up in one house because of financial reasons. But after they got financially straight, you don't see the Mexicans all bunched up in one house. They got nice big houses. They got nice cars with rims and stuff on them.
They all live in the same
they
neighborhood.
Spread it out now. They may live in the same neighborhood somewhere, but they not in the same house no more.
I mean, but why would we stay in the same house? You run out of space. You feel it? It's a kingdom. So if it's a kingdom, an ecosystem, an environment, it doesn't mean you have to be under one roof. It means that all of your family live on the same land, in the same ecosystem, in the same area. That's the only way you can protect them. That's the only way you can all escape. That's the only way you can have a unified plan which doesn't go across paper or people knowing what you're gonna do. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, the way that you're talking about it like in ancient form. You know what I'm saying? Like when the times of Solomon and there was kings back then who had these big palaces where all their wives and kids and stuff can live in one big palace. You know what I'm saying? So they can live under one roof without having separate houses and stuff like that. So if you're trying to break, you know what I'm saying, or you got land, or tribal people had land, and they had their little huts or their little society and stuff where they stayed close by each other, but because they weren't able to build no kingdom.
But you don't need a kingdom. Like we got buildings, bro. Nowadays we got buildings. We got skyscrapers. You feel what I'm saying? We got farms. You can live anywhere and still have your family surround them. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's why you had like a lot of people. Speaking of Dr. Malachi Z. York, who had like 476 acres of land, where he had all of these people together on one land. You had David Koresh. You know what I'm saying? David Koresh had his own building, a big type like mansion, where he had his own people that believed like he did, and he called them family, but they all lived together and did everything together. So yes, you can get land and stuff and put your family on that land, but gotta be your family. You know what I'm saying? That'll only be going on within your mind and your people mind as y'all together, but it won't be as it continue to go and go and go and go, and for generations it won't be like that, because you may have a grandson or granddaughter to say, I don't want to live like this. I want to go out into the world. I want to have my own apartment, my own space from my people. I don't want to live like in a cultural settings like Indians. You know what I'm saying? Like Native Americans. I want to live like that.
But that's one out of a dozen. If you decide that you don't belong to this family, then that's your choice, regardless if you genetically belong or not. If you don't belong on all spectrums of this family, then you just don't. At the end of the day, you would have to send people out into the world to make sure that we still know what's going on. But that's where capitalism comes in. You can build a consulate, for your people to live in Italy somewhere. You feel what I'm saying? Now, you wouldn't necessarily send your whole family over there. You would send one person over there to create a family on that side. You feel what I'm saying? Now, that's only because that individual no longer wants to live in this environment. You feel me? But not. I promise you, there would be 1 out of 12 that would want to leave, and then that one not only will have so much, I would say, pride, that even though they know they want to go back home because they miss their family, they'll somehow try and convince themselves that the reason they're staying here is to prove to the family that we don't need to be all in one spot. When in all reality, you're not proving to us anything. We know we don't need to be all in one spot, but it's more conducive. It's a better conductor. And that's pretty much what it is. So if my daughter decided, hey, I no longer want to live in this environment or this ecosystem, in this safe hub, I want to go out there in the world and be risky and adventurous, as if you couldn't do that here. That's her choice. I'm not gonna put handcuffs on her and say, bitch, stay. I'm gonna let her go. You feel what I'm saying? And now as she goes out there, she's going to gain her own experience. And then everything we've taught her or we installed in her, whether she uses it or not, she's going to look at the world and be like, damn, I see what they was talking about. And that's going to be on a greater scale than her just looking at a person and being like, damn, my father told me about you type of people. You feel what I'm saying? So I welcome it. So she can be an example of why we don't do that.
There's a lot of stuff that you said that I do agree with and I don't agree with, but what you're saying about a family that should be together as a tribal people or immediately family, I agree with that because I would love to have my family on a land somewhere where we got a couple of acres or where all my kids and grandkids and stuff running around and I can see them and where they growing up and I know they safe or I feel safe where I can see them in my reign. I agree with all of that. But I'm saying the way that time has changed, we got to deal with change and things are constantly changing. But you can also make, a tribal people of your own, starting with you again, and then it can branch off from your daughter to her son and grandson and so forth, and lead those principles of what you're saying with your philosophy to your kids. I agree with that. And the way society is now, you will have to start raising your daughter right now to be almost like a robot, really. You know what I'm saying?
Not a robot.
Agree with a lot of stuff that you're trying to cling to and get her to cling to because of all the outside influence. It would be hard to try to live a tribal life now these days.
I mean that's up to speculation. If you would say that me teaching my daughter about bonds and the way that human beings the way I believe human beings should be raised without forcing her to live like that is kind of brainwashing her, then that's like saying education is a form of brainwashing. And if that's the case, then hey, everyone is educating someone to do something a certain type of way, whether it's the wrong way or the right way, and you consider it educating. But as soon as someone writes a philosophy and concrete setting with background proof and information, it becomes a brainwash. That's how you create how would you say a stigma, or a stigma surrounded around philosophy when everything is based in philosophy because it's the study of knowledge. So yes, I will pass on my philosophy not only to my children but the children that encompass my children, and then the external world through entertainment and educational entertaining settings. And if that's the case and someone believes that they should be an individual only, you are born an individual, so individuality comes first. But if you connect individuality, it's still individuality amongst a group of individuals. That's all I'm saying.
Like I said about your philosophy on keeping people in communication with each other, I don't neglect that. I don't bet it like I'm at the baseball field or none of that. I actually agree with you on that. But what I'm saying is, if you let your daughter watch TV and she see all of these stars like Beyonce and Mariah Carey and other people that's living lives that they are living in these mansions and they got these nice cars and stuff, and the type of men that they date and stuff like that, she will get prone to this. And she will neglect what you're trying to teach her, so she may become rebellious. I'm not saying that she will, but I'm saying it will be hard if you're going to be strict and try to teach your daughter your philosophies at a young age and block her from, a lot of negative energy or what you would consider as negative energy of going against your philosophy if you're trying to build something like that. That's what I'm saying. Because it will be hard if you got outside forces.
Does Beyonce affect how you look at Christmas?
Do Beyonce affect how I look at Christmas?
Yeah.
Yes, of course she does. You know why? Because she affect how I look at Christmas because she got money and she can get a brand new Mercedes Benz or a Porsche, and her Christmas is lovely. So she affect my Christmas like I want my Christmas to be like her Christmas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want a big house. I want to get a big house for Christmas, a 14 mansion or something like that for Christmas. Yeah, so she does. Right. Yeah.
Now, once she decides what she wants to get, now how do you convert that want into ambition? How do you convert that into a goal? Because goals, they advance over time, dreams expand over time, but what doesn't expand is the fact that she remembers that she wanted that because of Beyonce. You feel what I'm saying? Now from there, from that alone, if you curve that, if you turn that into a driving force As in, all right, so you want a big house. Well, damn, baby, I want a big house too, so we could fit our big family. I just turned something that would seemingly be negative into a positive. Oh, you want $1 billion? I want $1 billion too, so we could buy our family 1 billion cars, baby. Yes. Oh, you want to be a police officer? I'm actually gonna build my society, and you know what you can do? You can police it. You see what I'm saying? You see, you can call it brainwashing. You can call it pointing in the right direction. You can call it influencing. You can call it whatever you want. But at the end of the day, just like external forces are influencing my child to do things that have no context, all I'm doing is going to continue to put the context that family comes first, because someone out on the street who doesn't know you isn't necessarily going to treat you the way someone in your house who knows you is going to treat you. You feel what I'm saying? If I would be more likely to kill someone outside than I am to kill someone in my house. I would beat you up in my house, but outside, no one is there, or nothing in that setting is there to go, hey, bro, that's your cousin. You should stop. Or it's more like, hey, you don't know him. He tried to attack you, kill him. You feel what I'm saying?
I agree on what you're saying. But at the same time, I definitely agree. But when we're dealing with reality, we're looking at the aspect of, genes, genetics. Okay, you got your woman or your wife or your girlfriend pregnant, right? You got her pregnant. She have a gene line. She have a gene line that's different from your gene line. Your 23 chromosomes mixed with her 23 chromosomes, which gave your daughter 46 chromosomes, which in actuality give her own personality. That means that both of you guys make her, and your father and your mother made you, but when they made you an individual of how you came out and turned out exactly how you are right now today, Shadow. By all the experience that you've been through, maybe your father haven't been through any experience that you've been through, or your mother, but they made you. So they created a whole nother creation of themselves that had its own personality and its own ability or entitlements to say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna make my own choices when I get a certain age to say, no, I'm not gonna listen to what you're trying to brainwash me to. Basically, what I'm saying is, my mom, took me to church when I was small. I didn't want to go to church. Even as a child, I already knew that I didn't like going to church. For some reason, maybe it was too early or something. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to play the game all day. Because, they had the Sega Genesis and stuff out back then. I didn't want to go to church. I want to be on the Sega Genesis. Or the what it was, the Atari. They got the Atari games and stuff out. So I didn't want to go to church. So when I got older and stuff, and I'm, realizing that I can do other things and be free, I started using my own personality and my own thinking in my own ways and be rebellious, which they would call rebellious, which called me to become the person who I am and went through my own experience. So basically what I'm saying, it's good for you to instill your principles however you want to instill your principles on your daughter. I'm not saying that's wrong at all. But when it comes to the point where she old enough, or your son or whoever old enough to make their own decision, it would just happen like that. So you're doing the job that you're supposed to do. I'm not neglecting that. But you can't say it's going to turn out how you want it to turn out. That's all I'm saying. Unless you be some type of real strict person and don't let no type of area of disagreeableness towards your aim of trying to raise this daughter in a manner of how you want to raise her. Now, if how much little stuff like
how much component or how much percentage do you believe that individuality plays in someone becoming an individual?
Well, it's a lot of percentage, because you got to realize that person now is their own person. The only reason you only taking care of that person and in control of that person, that entity, because you made and created that entity with another entity. So it's like if you had a small business, or you got a small business that grew up into a big business, and these big businesses become franchise now. So this McDonald's is more experienced where you got it located in California than you building in Florida, where it's no McDonald's, never been a McDonald's. So it's way more known that this McDonald's is booming. I mean, the business is good where you just started this McDonald's. Where you had it running for like years and years, and everyone of them got accustomed to this McDonald's. But when you're trying to bring this McDonald's somewhere in a new environment where no one never, had McDonald's before or whatever, they may heard about it, but it's nothing like we ever had it before. So you're trying to build that establishment of what you had or what you have already going on somewhere else. It's not that you're going to get the same results. It's not mandatory that you're going to get the same results. That's what I'm saying. So the way that your philosophy are saying, okay, throughout my life, I've been through this. So this is what I came up with to try to get this back into my gene line to have my family regulated back to the original how it's supposed to be. Family first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do systems convey a certain outcome? Do they create a specific outcome?
The system it plays a certain outcome, but if you be strict, that's what I'm saying. Back then, people was like, we loose now. When I say loose, we have more technology, we have more things that's open to us than what they had back into like the 40s, 1940s and stuff. So living in 1940 and living now, it will be more easy to live a tribal life in these times. The reason why, because of all the activities and distraction, what we have going on with each individual trying to pursue what they call the American dream. You know what I'm saying? An American dream consists of having a good house, having a nice, husband or a wife, money in the bank and stuff like that. And what you got to do to get that, you got to go out into the world. You can't be standing around in a tribal place, looking out for your community and stuff like that, because back then that's how they lived. They had to go out and hunt and fish and do stuff like that. Now we're accustomed to where we got to go out and even some people think robbing to get it, stealing, or whatever you got to do to try to live this big life, to try to live what they call comfortable. Where then, if I get me a couple meals, I can start me a travel family. But right now I'm struggling. So I'm on survival mode right now. I'm on living on instance where you're going to work every day getting a check, and you living check to check. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you're not seeing what I'm saying. So if a system determines a specific outcome, right? Now it becomes a thing where is your children following the system you put in front of them, or are you allowing them to follow, or are they following an external system? So there's I don't know if you're aware, but I'm pretty sure you are though. There's Jewish communities worldwide. Then I think they call like Hasidic Jews or something to that likes. The guys with the pigtails and the strings hanging from their pants.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Not only do they follow a specific guideline, but they have their own communities, they have their own schools, they have their own businesses, and their businesses cater to outside and internal clients. But when it comes to their system is internalized only for their people, only for the people in their tribe. You feel what I'm saying? So their kids aren't being influenced by external forces at a young age. Once you've installed some type of moral ground into them, for them to realize that I am a Jew and you are a Jew, or I am a Power Ranger and you are a Power Ranger, and this is how Power Rangers conduct themselves, only then can they apply themselves as a tribe. Now, if you're so busy focused on the fact that you don't have the type of food in your house that everyone else has in their house, then your child would be just as focused on the fact that they don't have the food in their house that their friends have. But if you show it as, hey, I don't give a fuck what my friends got, then your children will take on that idea of, I don't give a fuck what my friends got. And that's because they imitate you. Now, if you behave like that mentally, physically, emotionally, your environment is set up like that, then your child will be more inclined to follow that system. It is better, not only is it better, but it's more realistic than you setting your system up like the outside world and then living by the outside world's standards. That's where you lose morality. That's where your child thinks it's okay to do the things that those people are doing when that's not the type of way they were raised. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you saying. I absolutely agree with you saying, and that's why I said earlier, like you got to have a strict like force on your daughter, and you got to not let Arian to deplete your plan for her. So what I'm saying is, when you brought up that Jewish community, yes, babe, yes. When you brought up that Jewish community, they are a strict people. They strict on their child. Their child at the young age, they got to go through school, all this stuff. They not watching certain type of TV programs. So you got to do the same thing for your child to similar come out to a equal match as like theirs. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna put it like this. Look at the religion Islam, for instance. Look how all the people in Islam go by a strict code and a strict law. You know what I'm saying? So in that country, like it's Saudi Arabia, everyone got to pray at one time. That's the whole country. Everyone got to pray at one time. And then you got all of the women wearing basically the same thing. They can wear different, dashikis and stuff like that, but it's basically the same manner of dress code. It's not like they over here in America where women's wearing, this type of fitted, one wearing damn near where everything's showing, one wearing this, different cars and this, that. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's a different effect on the child.
Yeah, that's but it's not called being strict though. You feel what I'm saying? It's called living how your system is catered to live. That if you go out here and you try, this is all right. So I got a term. This term it's called the divisual or the divided shadow. Those who seek refuge in external families or external organizations. So if you don't identify with your family, that's a different story from you wanting to go outside and follow the things that other people are doing. This is why they say don't be a follower, be a leader. When you go out the house, you should still compose yourself as you were raised to be composed. Or as you feel you should be composed, which is why everyone has individuality. But your individuality is only determined from how you were raised. It's only about 20% of personality that influences how you will act, influences the things you will like. The rest is multiple different sectors. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. So let me ask you a question then, based on what you just said. Do you allow your child to watch certain type of cartoons, or do you buy your child certain type of dolls, or do you buy my child certain type of clothes and stuff, dress clothes and stuff?
Yeah, my child has white dolls, black dolls, dogs with leashes. They know how to whip and do the nay. They read books, because I'm not restricting their individuality. All I'm doing is showing them that you can do all of this stuff, you can enjoy all of this music and still live by a moral code that determines that family comes first, and then from there you externally illuminate yourself. You can't look at it as my cousin is more popping than me, because in all reality your cousin is not going to do the same thing that you're doing. You feel what I'm saying? So you don't uphold yourself to someone else's standards. You uphold yourself to the unit's standard. So if I go into a business, I would have to obey their rules and guidelines, and the only way I would obey is if I believe that this is right for me. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I said people can leave. You can leave if you don't feel it's right for you. But what you learned is always going to play itself out, because there's one thing that remains true, and that is the connection between people and external objects.
So I agree, like I said, on your philosophy, because it's nothing new. It's something that's already going on. But what we getting
the concept of
the concept is already going on. So like the individual within and the without. That's what you're saying. So the within morals that you're saying that's instilled in the child can be brought without, no matter the external settings. That's what you're saying.
No,
Okay.
Actually, I'm not saying that, because the external settings also influence the within and the without. You feel what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is the only thing that remains true is connection. Everything else in between connection is determined by the individual. So what I say is individuality, we nurture individuality, we embrace transformation, and we embody unity, because we need we are individuals, and individuals constantly transform from child to adult, from mature to immature, or from immature to mature, as well as we embrace unity, because when we have a baby, we are united by that one bloodline. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying. That's why you can't determine how a child gonna turn out. You can instill principles on a child, but that's your job to do that. Now, when you're trying to actually make an experiment, like the Jews, that's what they do. They do an experiment with their kids. The Muslim people, they do an experiment. This is an experiment. This is not normal.
That's normal, bro. That's normal.
Well, no. Okay. Let me show you why it's not normal. Because what you just said, you let your daughter have a white dog and a black dog, right? You let her, have her music, listen to certain music, and let her know that you can do all of this stuff and still have morals of what you stealing in her, right?
Exactly.
That's not happening in other people's families. That's not happening in other cultures or other tribes. No, that's only going on within Pacific people.
It always.
That's what I'm saying. See,
no, it always happens.
Okay, this is what I'm saying. See, you let your daughter have a black dog and a white dog. In one family, a mother may not allow her daughter to have a black dog, and in another family, a mother may not allow her daughter to have a white dog, because that's family policy. That's family morals. It's not the same as your morals. That's family morals. Now, your family moral, you allow your daughter to have a black and white dog, but you can't say your family morals are for everybody's family morals. So what's going over there is so, you see what I'm saying?
So that's why I'm telling you that individuality. You feel what I'm saying? Once you're already an individual now. You're already a divisual. Once you're no longer connected to your family. Once you connect with your family, you become a dependent, an independent. No, you become an independent, a dependent, and then an individual. Once you're an individual, once you're in the environment of that family, not only does your individuality, I'm burning my rice. Your individuality becomes a part of that as a unit, which is called the whole. So their whole is dedicated to that system, which is why I asked you, do you understand that a system, put out a specific type of thing. Now from there, that thing can decide what it does with itself. You feel what I'm saying? No one is shackling that person, but he realizes is that when I'm looking outside the world, I see that this world is not for me. You feel what I'm saying? As someone who was raised by a different system can look out in the world and say, I can deal with that, and I can deal with that, and I can deal with that, but all this other shit I can't deal with. You feel what I'm saying? So that individual always makes its own choice. There's no such thing as restraining someone from making a choice. But if you raise them the right way, they will always align themselves with that which helped them grow. The sun, the dirt, the trees, the moon, the water.
Right. That's what the Bible says. The Bible says if you raise a child in the way that it should go, it will happen like that. So, but look at my mother, and my people. They had me going to church and stuff like that. And I end up still like going out into the streets, but I can't say that about all my family members. All my family members did not turn out like me. So that's why I say, like, the individuality of what you're talking about, you can instill the principles or the morals or the philosophy all you want. It's still gonna boil down to the blood that's in that child. because you have your blood in that child, and you also have your wife or your girlfriend blood in her. You can't determine what her bloodline tribe used to think or what they used to do. You only can try to, come to the conclusion of what you're doing now and saying, well, I actually found who I am and realize how things was going. So I'm gonna try to put it back in perspective from your side. You know what I'm saying? But your wife's side, and her bloodline that's running through your daughter, it may be a different outcome. She may lean more to those chromosomes and the genetic side of that family tribe line of going out to be her own on making her choices as well. Yeah, my father tried to teach me a lot of stuff, which I know what he teaching me, and I apply some of that stuff in my life, which family is first, which a lot of people apply that today, that family is first. Because when you realize that's all you got, when you get in trouble, who you call? Your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother. And some people don't make it to the point where now blood is really not too much family no more. It's about who's there for you, who's putting out for you, that's what it is. That's what they making family now, not too much bloodline, because bloodline is not always family. Because I said that gene from my sister, which not having the same father as me, is a different bloodline now, which can cause her or me to do anything and say, well, why did she kill her brother? She just up one night just stabbed him, stabbing the whole family. What made her do that? It's in her bloodline from the other side of the family. But it wasn't in the other side of the family of my bloodline. That's what I'm saying. That's why bloodline plays an important role on beyond philosophy. Philosophy is something that's trying to organize some type of law or principle that we should follow. But the bloodline is a code that's already encoded, which is the law.
Right here, mama. Yeah, I hear you, bro.
Yeah, I'm basically like done though.
Oh, all right. So what I was saying, hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, my headphones had died. You can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, cool. So basically, what I'm saying, because I know we having like we're almost at the same page, but we got a little difference. So you're saying that your family, pretty much, your family, they took you to church, right? And they explained to you, they were God-fearing people. Now, no one there had a specific trade. You feel what I'm saying? Like, well, this is what our family does. There was no principles and policies. You feel what I'm saying? There was no one to say, hey, this is what we do. I'm gonna put you in karate class. There was no particular interest set forward so that you can discern whether or not you're gonna go the path of your family, or you're going to decide to leave your family and be a individual. So what you decided was that your family isn't giving you what you need. You feel what I'm saying? This is the lack of it's called the individual's purpose. This is the lack of the individual's purpose. They're not connecting or aligning their purpose with yours, which is why you have the need to go a different route. So you want chicken, but your family wants turkey tonight. Instead of them making turkey and chicken, they decided, hey, well, the majority wants turkey. So what you decide, right. I'm going to go out here and get chicken, and I'm referring to chicken as money.
Right.
You're right. You feel what I'm saying? So that's because your family wasn't cohesive when it came to individuality. Yeah, I turned the rice off. I'm putting the pork chops on now. Your family wasn't cohesive when it came to one world order, or a sense, one environment, one ideal, one perspective. Now, from that one perspective, it will create billions. You feel what I'm saying? It will create billions of individuals, because once you're born, you're already an individual. Now, as you go through life, you obtain individuality. Even though you already have individuality, you don't know what your individuality is because of the process through growth. Now, with that being said, if you haven't decided, that this is the principles that my family is going to be raised on, you technically just have a society, you know, of different types of businesses that haven't been aligned. So you don't have a Google. You have Walmart, you have Kmart, you have, you get what I'm saying? You have multiple stores in your house, but you don't have a Google. And a Google is Google, Google Hangouts, YouTube, Android. You feel what I'm saying? That's all encompassed in Google. These are the things that Google's made. However, Kmart and Walmart is the same store, the same type of setup, but it's two completely different companies. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. So let's get back on to what I was saying. I agree with what you're saying. And let's get back to the perspective of what I was saying. Like when you know, deal with reality as of now and what we're going through and the principles that we're trying to bring or that we was living off of and trying to make a new perspective of it. We got to deal with all areas of reality of what we're dealing with now. Like as for instance, we know there's women out there that have children from different fathers. So you may have one father, you know what I'm saying? He may come around and do for his child. He actually be a father to his child, but the other guy, he's not there. You know what I'm saying? So when the child is being raised up and only that one father coming around and doing for his child, you know what I'm saying? That brings some type of, you know, mentality on the child, the other child that's not getting what this child gets. You know, and the guy is not responsible for the other man's children because he's not with the mother either, but he's taking care of his child. So he got another family somewhere. But what he's doing, being responsible for the child that he made this woman. So he brings, you know, diapers and milk and shoes, clothes, and whatever, but he's not doing this for the whole household of children. So you got kids raised up like that, and they seeing this, and you know, you got them coming up different with different personalities, different mentalities, and different ego status, or you know, what we'll consider as some type of syndrome, a ghetto-like syndrome. So what they do, the ones who not getting it, they're gonna go make their own type of money or try to find that father figure who can help them out, or you know, stuff like that. So that's why I say when you're dealing with a principle, you got to deal with the whole, or you're just dealing with your just family immediately with your daughter, your wife, and your mom and your aunties and so forth, to get the principle to apply to them first before you try to get it applied to a world where there's multiple things going on. And if you don't have multiple aspects of attacking it from multiple aspects and basically from spiritual viewpoints and knowing how to deal with it from scientific viewpoints and methods and also historical viewpoints and methods, then you're going to fall off. It'll only apply to your family and trying to instill those rules and stuff, or you know, those philosophies in your family.
Yeah, I could show you how not necessarily what you're saying is you know, true. Look at Apple. No one in their house was raised on Apple. You feel what I'm saying? However, Apple presented a idea, a concept that people could align with. So those people who align with Apple become a part of Apple. Now they've been incorporated. And the only way you can be incorporated into Apple is if your family doesn't have a cell phone company. You feel what I'm saying? So if I teach someone, right, how to be an individual, how to embrace transformation, and how to embody unity, that person could then walk out of my establishment, you know, as an external family member, because I would have an external establishment for external individuals. So they would walk out of my establishment knowing what they know. They would then be able to apply that to their family. Now, if they're embodying unity, they would go into their family already the type of person they are, not the type of person they have become, because you have to start from where you were to get them where you are. So you would go in there, you know, you would act like them, you know, you would embody, you know, the individuality of the whole, and then you would slowly pull the components in a new direction. So you would hold your little sister's hand in, let's say, in an imaginary sense or a fantasy depiction. You would be holding your sister's hand, and you would be dragging her to the light. Now, as she's coming to the light, what she's gonna think is, oh shit, that's my favorite cousin, that's my favorite cousin, and that's my favorite sister. I'm gonna drag them too. So I'm gonna grab their hands. Now, once you grab their hands, that's already a chain. Eventually, all of those components in that individual family are gonna be influenced by this side, and they're all gonna come over here. Now, once you get there, you have to decide now. Now that we got all of these people on one identity, yeah, he getting in trouble. He need to do his homework. Now that we got all these people on one identity, bro, then we decide should we should elevate, you know, because transformation is key, because transformation is constant. So everyone in that group is going to continue to transform. Now, to decide or direct which way transformation goes is only the only way you can do that is by putting your best foot forward. So if you're constantly presenting yourself as a person dignified in this particular lifestyle, then your family can also decide if that is the lifestyle they want to live. But if someone else is presenting themselves in a lifestyle that seems to connect more with everybody else, you're going to be more inclined to listen. You feel what I'm saying? So it's all about identity as one, but then it's all about identity as an individual of ones.
Yeah, and that's why I said that, you know, your daughter or your family, some family members might see what's going on in society, and they may want to be a part of that incorporation, what's going on in society, and not the incorporation as what you have going on. Even though they are part of the corporation because it's family first. But the rules and regulation as dealing with family, they want to branch off. Like you may say, okay, the family rules is, you know, we only stand in California. But let's just say that your daughter want to be a movie star, and it requires her to travel throughout the world. You know what I'm saying? And she knowing that, well, my father want me to just stay in California, you know, that's not going to apply to her. So once you do become a movie star or a singer or actor or whatever she may become, dealing with this other incorporation that have other morals and other rules and other ideas that's similar to yours but different. And then she get into the principles of this worldly stuff, even though it's instilled in her what you taught her. But now she getting a various taste of what's really going on out there, because she never really been out there like that until she got away from her family, which the opportunity was presented when she was, you know, worked her way up through school, maybe through college, and got some type of certain degree and got a job that offered her to travel, to get away from her hometown. All right, thanks.
But by then, she would already have the discipline to deal with those outside forces, bro.
Well, I'm saying, like, you can teach her that, and like I say, I applaud you for that. But it's not your guarantee to say that will actually happen. My daughter actually gonna go out to do what my principles that I instilled in her.
I understand
because I'm quite sure that your mom, whatever she wanted you to be, when she thought, you know, when you was a child, she tried to instill in you to go to school, be some kind of football player, basketball player, or artist, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But
I was raised to believe that I can be anything I want. That was back when the "I Believe I Can Fly" song was out, bro. You know. And I've installed that in everyone around me, not just my kids. You can be anything you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Just keep in mind that whatever you decide to be, it would also be connected. Damn it. Hold on. Give me a minute, bro. Babe, you want sweet peas? Yeah, bro. So my mother installed in me that I can be anything I want to be. However, and I still maintain that belief today. And then I also install that in not only my friends, but everyone that comes into conference, into conference with me, not only by telling them, but also by showing them. So I'm saying, hey, I run a tribe. You feel what I'm saying? I call it the tribe of shadows. I'm the angels. I embody connection. What you need to do is take that first step. That first step is going to get you from divisual to new shadow. They go, hey, what's the new shadow? The new shadow.
No, wait, I was talking to my mom.
So the new shadow is composed of connection. The new shadow embodies injas. Injas is what? Injas being eaten, meaning meaning connect, jas meaning connecting, jas injas meaning connected, injust meaning connection. Oh, so how do I apply that? You apply that using individuality, transformation, and unity. You feel what I'm saying? Now those are the components that will keep your family, your unit, your team together. And then from there, people be like, hey, bro, you sound like you got a cold. You sound like and then my response would be, well, if you call my wife, my 3 children, my 4 children, if you call me, my wife, and my 4 children a cult instead of a family, I can see why you would think that. I guess that's because we're composed in an air of culture. You feel what it is?
Well, I mean, we like from my background of teaching what they call a cult, we don't see that as offensive because the word cultivation have also cult in it. You know what I'm saying? You cultivation. So cultivation is not a bad word, but you just take cult and you use it as a bad word when you use that same word as in cultivating, making something actual progressing. You know what I'm saying? In a aspect of positive. So it's a play on words and how people use things. So it's how you look at it. But
yeah, psychology. Yeah, definitely.
Right. So how you saying a lot of stuff? Like I said, I agree with a lot of stuff you're saying. It's nothing new. I encourage you to instill things to try to bring back so we can all get together. You know what I'm saying? Besides belief and stuff like that, but it's always going to be some type of people that can have these principles that instilled in them, just like you instill in your daughter or whoever you get to follow your philosophy. It's the same with these people. They have a philosophy that they will hold on to dear life. No matter what other philosophy come along or what religion come along, they would chose to die as a Muslim. They would chose to die as a Christian. They would chose to die as, a Baptist or something like that. So and they have their own lives to live, like going into the world, but they still keeping that morality as a Christian, a Muslim, or whatever, and they still interacting into the world, but they still keep their cultural teachings. So it's not nothing that you're doing different. That's what I'm saying. And they have a family standards where they living like this. You got actual people in Saudi Arabia that's living what you talking.
I mean, but I never said what I was doing was something different. What I said, what I was doing was the right thing to do. That's all.
Well, I say it's the right thing to do too. I'm not saying it's wrong.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know why. It's more focused on the fact that I'm not doing nothing different besides the fact that I'm actually going with what's natural, what's meant to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of people like to focus on the fact that the concept of what I'm doing is nothing nothing new under the sun. However, the concept could be nothing new under the sun, but I'm damn sure that the system that I apply to that concept is definitely new because it's my own creation. However, I'm not focused on the fact if it's my own creation or if it's a new pair of Jordans. I'm focused on the fact that it gets the job done. And that job is to spread individuality, transformation, and unity. We need to nurture, embrace, and embody.
Okay, so when you say individuality, what do you actually mean by individuality? Because individuality can be like, well, I want to be a killer. That's my individuality.
Exactly. All right. If you want to be a killer, then we have things for you to kill. We have enemies. Not only do we have enemies, but we have animals that we need to eat. We also have we can have fucking monsters coming into our how would you say
civilization, I can actually create a monster for you to kill. I can create things for you to fight. You want to kill something, I can create a blood bag / robot for you to fight. Now, if you don't survive, that's your choice. You feel what I'm saying? That's what you decided to do. You know, I'm not going to knock you for what you want to do. And we've had this conversation, and I'm pretty sure even if you take it to the extremes of, oh, what if they want to do this? I can find a reasonable situation to put that person in where not only do they feel like they're doing what they want to do, but they are doing what they want to do.
Okay, but you don't think though that this same person that got that blood gene in them to be a killer may end up killing you or killing someone in your family while you also, while you're also feeding this gene to kill something, which in that gene, it can be, someone who's eager to just see blood run by knives, guns, or whatever. And it don't matter if it's an animal or something you even, give the opportunity to do so. And at every moment, you never know when the spur of moment that this whatever being that's in your society may want to just click like that and end up turning on the whole society.
Listen,
your whole tribe. You
never know if someone in your tribe is going to turn on your whole tribe, regardless if they're presenting themselves as a killer or if they're presenting themselves as a non-killer. So when it comes to you presenting yourself as a killer, that means that you did the first thing of Talatu. Talatu means insight, truth, love, willpower, pleasure, and survival. So the first thing you did on the top of the list is gave me insight to your truth, and then I can align your truth with my truth and give you insight about my purpose, which would allow me to connect my purpose with your purpose. So if you decide that you have a happy trigger finger, bro, if you decide that you want to go shoot some shit, and I know a scientist, or I know a place where you can hunt animals, or I know a place where people, because there's people out there who want to be hunted, bro. So I know a place where there's people who want to be hunted. There you go. I would put you in that environment so that you can do the things you want. Now, from there, if you decide that you want to kill people in my family, then you become an enemy, which means you're no longer in my family. So those.
But listen to what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but how would you know that when this person is ready to turn? You supplying everything that this person want to do. You know what I'm saying? That's like a dog, right? You feed the dog. The dog get accustomed to you feeding it, right?
If you control the supply, you control the demand. So if he needs guns, say for instance, and I give him guns, then I know what he has, and so does everyone around me. You feel what I'm saying? Your guns are not going to necessarily be the be all of killing my tribe. You feel what I'm saying? Because obviously I would have a plan in place for that particular person, as you would for every person in your family. If your child says, hey, I want to go to college one day, Dad, are you going to wait till he gets old enough to go to college for you to start saving money for him to go to college? Or are you going to build that plan for that child to get where he wants to go? And not only for that child to get where he wants to go, but for you to have backup plans set up just in case that fails or it doesn't go that way, or he decides he no longer wants to go to college. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. I understand what you're saying. And I'm also like trying to have you to have an open mind, because I definitely understand what you're saying. You're trying to apply everything that you can, even though you're supplying all the demand, it don't always go to your demand that it's going to work for you. So right. What I'm saying is, okay, listen to what I'm saying.
Bro, I can rely on family. If I can't rely on me, then I can rely on my family. You feel what I'm saying? And if I can't rely on my family, then we were doomed to die anyway.
Okay, let's go to this.
Yeah, that's simple. It's as simple.
Let's do this logic, right? Let's do this logic right here and look at the equation of this logic. That majority of all the mass murderers, their family had money. They had high degrees. They had high degrees that been to college and PhDs and everything else. They were supplied with the same type of demand that you're saying that you could supply for these people. Their parents supplied that for them. They had support when they was a child to want to go to college. College fund is already there for them if they decide to do so. They went off to college and still turned out the way that they turned, because that is not a thrill for them no more. The thrill is going to become of something that they want to do, not what they supply or what they want to do all the time. It's something that you're not supplying me. I got to go out and get it on my own. You know what I'm saying? So hold on, let me show you something. Let's look at it like this, right? In the drug trade, you the big man. You the one got the keys, right? You the one got the keys. You the one fronting somebody else, or they buying it from you, or whatever. He's the big man to the next big man, and so forth, so forth. Now you got all of these dudes in line waiting to be where you at. You supplying them with all of this, and it's a negotiation that's going on, which is a contract. So basically what you're dealing with is a contract. Of your philosophy is going to be a contract. Everything deal with contract. So once the contract is not met, then you're going to try to rearrange another type of contract. That's basically what you're saying you're going to do. You're going to rearrange some type of other contract.
I'm saying that I have a backup plan for if that contract falls through. And then I have a backup plan for if that backup plan doesn't work. That's what I'm saying. Now, what you're not understanding is my second law, because I have 3 laws, right? And then I have principles to align with that law, and then systems to apply those laws and principles. Now, if someone starts out one way, right, and then they turn another way, that would be my second law. My second law is transformation. We embrace transformation because transformation is going to happen whether we like it or not. Now that's we embrace transformation by the individual's purpose, which is to align purposes. You feel what I'm saying? Now that from there, once we've aligned, that takes us back into unity. We already have a circumference, which is the only way you can get out of this system, and the only way you can damage this system is by not only not revealing or us not paying attention to the fact that you are changing, but by leaving. You can leave. You feel what I'm saying? If you leave, then you're no longer in my, you no longer apply to my worry. I'm always conscious of the fact that you can come back, but by the time you come back, we're gonna be set in stone, but we're gonna be a different stone.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So you inviting any type of individual to be a part of your settings of your environment, regardless of background, regardless of creed, regardless of color, right?
Yes, everyone has a purpose.
Okay, so everyone have a purpose. Why don't you just let everyone play out their purpose as their entity self, instead of you trying to direct the entity self? That's what I'm saying. Now, you can give help, but not as being like a director, as a tyrant or something, as someone who want to control somebody's life, because that's basically what you're doing. When you go back and listen to the video, I'm going to show you, just pay attention to everything you said in this video, and you will see that that's exactly what you're doing, and that's exactly what you're going to have to be. And that's what I say, you're going to have to do that with your daughter.
That's definitely not factual. If I'm allowing people to choose, to be themselves, not only through individuality, but based on the fact that they will transform, and then we allow that transformation to influence the way we unite, how am I being a tyrant if they're choosing their own path? Like I said, you can.
Okay, I'm gonna break it down for you. That's called the 48 laws of power. When you allow somebody to be themselves, but you also know that they're dangerous. When you know that a person are a killer and you encouraging them to do more devious things and feed into their nature, that means you just only using that person for whatever reason. Why would you want a killer to be around your family? To follow your principles. Bro. Why would you want to even feed? Why would you even want to feed a killer appetite to even kill? That's right. What I'm saying. Even if it's not people or animals, why don't you just let them be so they can get dealt with in the manner that they're gonna get dealt with, whether it be dealt or prison for the rest of their lives, or instead of end up killing your whole tribe and you never knew about it, but you think you're a step ahead of them when actually they may be a step ahead of you.
Right.
Because now they inside, they have the inside scoop, and it can be like 5-10 years later that they actually been planning this, but they actually going through it to get the trust. And you also going through it for whatever purpose of, I don't know why you let them in, but they got in for the whole purpose of just to get in, to have,
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
So I think what you're assuming is that my external family is my internal family. I think that you're applying capitalism to my tribe. My tribe isn't applied to capitalism. So we have as also we have four as we have four forms of connection. We also have four I would say lines drawn in the sand. So we have our internal home, we have our external environment, then we have the borderline of our external environment, and then we have business. You feel what I'm saying? Now you're saying, why would I encourage this murderer to be himself instead of just treating him like a murderer, right?
Yeah, why would you treat him treat him as a murderer. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Why wouldn't I treat him as a murderer, right?
Yeah, why would you even want, my thing is, why would you even want a murderer around? It ain't got to be your external family. It can be your external family. That's still family that you have in danger. So basically, you are only concerned with your immediate family and not your extended family. Because you say the murderer gonna be around your extended family, but not your immediate family, because they're gonna be murderers.
The murderer is gonna be around my family. Now, this is what I want you to keep in mind, because it's almost a tad bit like you're not paying attention to the full picture. So if I have my own tribe, I am positive that someone out there has their own tribe. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, the Native Americans have their own tribe.
Yeah,
the Washita have it. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
So now from there, can you agree that a lot of us are either going to agree to disagree, agree, or not agree at all?
Yeah, but listen to what you're saying though. When you ask me that question, we got to go more further into that question, because have people that listen to what I'm saying. You got people that have their own tribe, but they're not letting just anyone in. If you're not a Native American, they too much not letting you in to be a Native American. You got to be born a Native American to be a Native American.
Let me draw the picture, bro. I'm trying to establish the grounds that's gonna encompass the last question, which is gonna pose, to answer your question, because we go from one question, and I understand it's a conversation, so of course we go from one question to one question, but the same question, I answer it in one way, you don't understand, I answer it in another way, you don't understand, because if you're disagreeing with me, you can't understand what I'm saying. So
well, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you exactly the truth. I don't understand and don't know the question that you answer by saying that you want the murderer to be around you, and you saying that you know what I'm saying. But that to me, like, I'm using common sense here, bro. And anyone will go back and listen to the video will say, hell no, I won't want no murderer around my daughter. Why? So you end up strangling her or kidnapping her or just snatching her up right there at that moment and just stick a knife right through her throat, or some type of anything just to make it happen. That's a dangerous. Listen, that's a time bomb just walking or just in your presence, just ready to go off at any time. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Now we're gonna clear one thing up, because this is why conversations get real. It gets real dusty, bro. It gets real bad. So for you to imply or to say that it's because you're using sound of reasoning is to imply that I am not using sound of reasoning. You feel what I'm saying? It's not intentionally. I don't know if you're intentionally attempting to insult me, but if I would like that, if you are, that you would just be more direct and say you're not using sound of reasoning, instead of saying that it's because I'm using sound of reasoning that I'm speaking over you and talking to you the way I'm talking to you. Now, what I'm saying is, can you agree that we're either going to agree to disagree, or disagree?
We're gonna do all. It depends on what the question and what the matter is. All gonna do that.
Exactly. So with that being said, what happens when we disagree?
When you disagree with a person, it depends on what level that disagreement is on. Because if I disagree with you just in a conversation, we could just be a disagreeable people. That's it. Now, if it's on something, hold up, but let me bring it to another level. It's about disagreement on some gambling. Where one person disagree about the dice wasn't this and the dice was that. That can end up someone's life getting took. Instead of the disagreement with just me and you having a little argument and we say, okay, whatever, okay, you got that. You know what I'm saying? That's two different type of disagreements. I just demonstrated.
All right. Yes, I understand that. Not only did you demonstrate that, but if you would have gave me a chance, I was going to demonstrate the same thing. So I'm okay to be quiet, even though I was trying to, explain something to you. So yes.
Now go ahead. You asked me, and I was just explaining to you, the different levels of disagreement. That's it. So you continue.
The thing is, I asked you, can we disagree? That was a step. See, we go through phases. If we don't go through phases, then we tend to step on each other and jump over each other and talk over each other. That's why a conversation is one person talking and the other person talking.
Right, but you asked me a question and I say no, but I didn't answer the question. I answered the question how you wanted me, but not exactly how you wanted me. You just probably just wanted me to say yeah, no, like a robot. But I'm gonna tell you, that's what you're implying right now. That's why you said that we step over each other when all the time, man, you've been talking, we've been talking. I let you talk, you let me talk. We've been doing that the whole time.
That's what the whole time until you disagreed with me. And then you started getting aggressive and saying that I am not of sound reasoning. This is what I'm saying. And you're not realizing it. But it's cool. Now if I wasn't of sound reasoning, I would have spazzed out. But I understand that this is what you do. So what I want to do is go, step by step and present to you my case. Pretty much the case I was going to present to you is that everyone and anyone can be a murderer. So that guy, you turn into a murderer if someone tries to murder you. Not only that, but you would become a murderer if someone murdered your family. You would want either revenge or you would try and stop them from killing the rest of your family. Now, in that case, if I have a murderer on my side and then a murderer enters my tribe, I already know that this guy he's fucking trained in the art of murder. And you know what they call the art of murder? They call that guy a soldier. So it's like saying, why should I have soldiers in my village when I know they kill people? You get what I'm saying? That's crazy. It determines who you teach them to kill. Just like the dogs, it determines who you teach that dog to bite. Just like a baby, it determines who you teach that baby to respect. So yes, I will have a whole tribe of murderers. Me, myself, is going to be a murderer if that's the case. If that's the only thing I can do to protect my family. We're going to learn to be strong physically, mentally, emotionally. And if someone tries to damage us physically, mentally, or emotionally, we just might murder them.
All right, now, when this video is over with, I want you to go back and pay close attention to this video on how me and you was discussing on what we was talking about, because you just went way left field on what you was considering as what I was and you was talking about murderer. We was talking about a murderer as like Jeffrey Dahmer, a murderer like that. I didn't meant no murderer as someone who hold on, let me finish speaking. That's why you cut me off, but you just cut me off. Why didn't you not? Then I just sat right there and let you speak, but you ain't letting me speak. You cutting me off. I sat right there and quiet, and you can go back and play this video when I'm done with it to see that I sat right there and let you speak. But now I'm gonna get back on what I was saying. Now, murderer, I was saying that's like an insane psychological person. So I say that you would allow anyone to come in your organization, and you said, yeah. I say no matter their creed, no matter their color, no matter none of that, and you said yes. So my thing when I was demonstrating the type of murderer that I was talking about someone who just is in their genes to kill. And you never know when they're going to snap, like a Jeffrey Dahmer. They never knew when he was going to snap, but when he snapped, he snapped. So they finally found him, and they realized how many bodies that he had and all the crazy things he was doing with people's organs and stuff like that, frozen them. Jeffrey Dahmer and the rest of the killers and stuff like that, who's mass slaughterers. So that's what the level of murderers I was placing that on, not someone who's getting out the army or who was in the streets and he's capable of killing. I'm capable of killing in the manner, in the case that you were putting it. If anyone try to hurt me, of course, my life is first. Self-presentation is first. That's even if I had a daughter, my daughter try to kill me, I'm gonna have to hurt her because self-preservation is first. That's
Bro,
that's common sense.
over again. I said that everyone and anyone is a killer. Point blank. We all have the potential to be a killer. No matter the level of killer, you're still a killer. So what I'm saying is, if I nurture that person to be the killer that he is, and he turns his killing into an art, he's gonna go kill the people that dictate his obsession. You feel what I'm saying? Now, I know he's a killer. This is why when people go to jail, they label you as what you are. So whether he's a Jeffrey Dahmer or a fucking Jim Jones, whether he's a fucking Hannibal, we know, everyone in my village knows that this guy eats people, but he doesn't eat us. He eats outside people. And you know what? That becomes an advantage because it's like, hey, we got some beef over here. I need you to go handle that. You know what he's going to do? He's going to go eat all of you motherfuckers. And we're going to be sitting there like, damn, this nigga ate everybody. You ever seen a show where it's like this guy specializes in shooting sniper rifles. This guy specializes in automatic weapons. That one guy specializes in knives. You think they specialize in those things because, that's what they're most able to be to do, or that's what they're trained to do? No, it's because that one guy likes close killing, that other guy likes mid-range killing, and the other guy, he loves to shoot people from far away. You feel what I'm saying? So everyone has a way they decide they want to kill. It just so happens that some people like to kill more frequently and more explicit, or to their own sense of aesthetic, bro. So they think that shit is sexy, so they kill like that. Now, if you turn that into an art and then you just happen to have beef, now he can fucking practice his art on all your enemies, bro. That's not my problem. That's the nigga who decided that he was gonna go against us problem. You get what I'm saying? We could teach
Okay. I see what you're saying, and that can be applicable, but at the same time, that's in suggestion too, because that same killer that you allowed in your camp could turn on you and end up killing you, which is the head, or end up killing someone that's major. That it's not only that how you thinking, because you're only pushing the pen and the thought from your perspective, but not seeing the opposite side of what this person actually can do. That's all I'm saying. You're not seeing the possibilities. You only seeing the possibility of what you want to see, but not the possibilities, or this murderer can actually turn on me, and that could be a mass slaughter in this camp or my organization, and everyone end up like just gone, and he can end up having a mass slaughter, organization himself that I don't know nothing about.
Can you answer the question?
He end up saying, well, I know the right place to eat, and the right thing to conquer, or to manipulate his way, or how he want to do it, and gain his killers just like him, and saying, well, I know where we can feast at, and we can take over.
Special forces. That's called.
I'm not forcing it. I'm looking at the opposite side of what you're looking at. That's what I'm doing. I'm not looking at it one side. I'm looking at your side.
I'm looking at the side. So this is why I asked you, are we going to agree to disagree, or disagree? Because at any moment, if I decide, hey, you know what? What you're doing is not for my group of people. Get out my city. Get out my civilization. He could easily just as become my enemy and eat us, regardless if he has.
Okay. That's why I say I'm hearing you. But that's why I say, why even allow someone in the first place, second, to even attempt, if you know what they are, to come in my organization when I know you have a psychological problem. And basically you said, hold on. And basically you saying that you can tame that psychological problem. That's basically what you're saying. You can tame that psychological person. I got the power to tame him and make him do what I want him to do and kill my enemy. You're not outside of my account. That's what you said.
You're rambling, bro. You're rambling. You're saying you're looking from both sides. Not only do you say that, but then you start to continue to speak and speak and speak. And then you say the same thing over and over and over. And you give you give like 30 to 80 fucking analogies of how this can happen. And if you're looking from both sides, the key element here is that regardless if he's on the other side or he's on this side, he's gonna fucking kill. It's more of a chance that he could kill me on my side, but there's also more of a chance that he could become my ally and kill on that side. You feel what I'm saying? Now from there, I cannot kill him, because if I kill him, then the people who are around me that also feel the same way, that they want to go out there and kill people, will not only not tell me, but then they will feel as though I'm their enemy. So like I said, my family, you know, my group, if they decide to do what they decide, I align myself with their purpose. Now, the best way I can do that is by making their situation conducive to them that doesn't affect our family. So if they decide to kill, and then there's other people over here who decide that killing might interest them, that would actually be the fucking expert on killing that you would go talk to if you wanted to know what's the right way to kill people and what's not the right way to kill people. Then that guy who decides, hey, I just want to start killing, he would open up to that new guy, that teacher, his mentor, and he would say, hey, mentor, I want to kill these type of people. And the mentor would say, yo, listen, you can kill whoever you want as long as you don't kill nobody in my tribe. And then he would install those rules. He would say, listen, if you're killing people, make sure that it doesn't bounce back on our tribe. You feel what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Really listen to yourself. You talking for the killer. You actually saying what you think the killer will actually say and do, but you actually have no clue of what he may do. That's what I'm saying.
Multiple hypotheticals, bro. Yo. You're giving hypotheticals, and then you're saying, bro, look at yourself. You're giving hypotheticals as if you're not giving hypotheticals, as if you've been
I have. Because I'm showing you, like, I've been around killers. I've been in gangs before. So I know killers. And not killers, like I'm talking about psychological killers, bro. And killers who were killers as being a part of something. So I'm speaking from experience. And at the same time, when you said that this killer can end up turning on you if he's not with you, my first thing is like, okay, if you know that there's a killer on the loose, if anywhere coming near my camp, they getting killed right off rip. I'm not worried about if they out in the world. I give two fucks. Because that's up to the security, which they have police officer and forces for to catch people like that. Not me. I'm only concerned with what I have going on. Not no killers in my camp running loose or I'm feeding their appetites. Not that type of concern I should be worried about. So basically what I'm saying is your logic for even letting people in your camp like this show what type of person you are. You just manipulating the situation. That's why you said that. Why would I have them against me when I can have them with me? So you're using a principles of 48 laws of power, which is deceitful deceptions. That's all you're doing, bro. You deceiving people. And I exposed you on this video with how you expose yourself. That's basically it.
No, I want to say something. And then you can speak, and I'll listen. We came on. You've exposed no one but yourself. We came on this call, and you said what you want to do is talk about a certain thing, right? So now we talked about what you wanted to talk about. It was completely non-hostile, right? We went back and forth. We decided that we didn't agree on that. You didn't agree on that. We agreed on that. We agreed on that. Cool. We're not going to always disagree. I mean, we're not going to always agree, and we're not going to always disagree. However, you started getting hostile, and you kept saying there's nothing new. All right. So cool. And like I said, I'm not trying to be the new guy. I'm not trying to be the new sneakers. I'm not trying to be the best thing out. What I'm trying to do is do what I believe. Now, from there, you go into a kind of like trance where you continue to say that this guy is a killer and all you want to do is control people. Now, if I said I'm aligning my purposes with people, that means that I'm allowing them to be their self while I be myself, but I'm trying to make sure that my family stays together. How am I trying to control them? By teaching them to do what they want to do better.
Okay, so you saying you're actually going to take a psychological killer or, a person who's just liable to snap at any time, but you even don't have no control over this person. but you may think that you have some type of control over this person to
I
enter
never said
into
I
your
have.
camp. Hold up.
But
That's
you're putting
basically what you were. No, I'm not putting words in your mouth. I'm actually no. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not putting words in your mouth because you already said it on recording. You said that you would have a counselor or some type of counselor that this person would talk to about the way and how that he wanted to kill, and they would discuss the way.
I said if I had a killer in my tribe, and then there so happens to be another person who wants to be a killer, now I have a mentor, on this side for someone who wants to kill. So you would go on this side with the killer guy, and he would teach you how to be like you are, bro. That's point blank. A teacher guides you to the path that you've already chosen. Nothing more, nothing less. Me aligning my purpose with other people's purpose is only great teamwork, and it's only what a family is supposed to do to grow. What you're saying is completely different. You're saying that I'm choosing their purpose. Not only am I choosing their purpose, but I'm setting them on that path. Not only am I setting them on that path, but when I set them on that path, I'm using them. None of that is
that's what you just said. You say your purpose is to allow your philosophy is to align with their purpose or what they want to do and help them. That's what you said. To make them be better at what they do.
It's three components to my philosophy: individuality, which I nurture; transformation, which I embrace; and unity, which I embody. Now, to embrace transformation, we have to align purposes, because your purpose is going to continue to grow, as is mine. That's the only way we can be aligned. We can only unite through purpose. What you're saying is that I'm choosing their purpose. No, they already have their purpose. What I'm doing is saying, hey, how could your purpose and my purpose work together so that we don't clash in the future? That's what I'm saying. What you're saying is that how can I control you and make your purpose what I want your purpose to be? That's what you're saying. And then you're saying I'm not looking at both sides. Well, you can either be my enemy or you can be my friend. And if you're my enemy, it's more likely for you to attack me than it is if you're my friend. However, probability can go either way. So I'm not doing anything besides making friends and helping them go further in life as I go further in life. There's no, I decide what you're doing. When you go to a store, they already have what they have. Now you got to decide what you want to buy.
Right, which is already a different type of setup. And you can go in that store, which is legal, and nothing in there is illegal if they're not doing nothing illegal. But when you allow a psychological person to enter into your camp to endorse their purposes or their reason for killing, and that's crazy. Now, first of all, I won't allow my purposes with no killer, like a psychological killer at that, and no rapist. I'm not allowing my purpose with none of these type of people because I'm not them. And my purpose have nothing to do with their purpose. Actually, my purpose are against their purpose. I'm here to save people from people like that who have psychological problems, what goes back to the gene line, which I was demonstrating from you to you earlier, which you have no clue of, because that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not about putting a system in place. It's about understanding people's gene lines and where they come from, where they descended from, where their ancestors from. So you can have a feel and an understanding of the people that you are dealing with. And people that come from certain bloodline, it don't matter what you do, how much you please or applaud them, they will kill your ass in your family and won't give a fuck about you and keep it moving. So this is what I'm saying. Me personally, I stay away from people like that as much as possible to keep the negative status down from around me and from around my whole progress of me trying to grow with who I'm growing with. Because if I have this negative energy roaming around me, of course this negative energy can cause an unbalancement of what I'm trying to do. Now with what you're trying to do, I don't know what the hell you got going on for allowing something like that, but the way you sound to me, you have a family. So to me, you's a loving father to your daughter. You won't want no fucking rapist or no killer around your fucking daughter. I'm quite sure that just around them, just because you want to help them be a better rapist or or a better killer. I mean, that don't even make sense, bro. When you want to protect your daughter from these type of people, that don't. I mean,
you're on a rant right now, right? I don't know what you attempted to accomplish on this conversation, because I thought it was just a conversation between two people. However, you apparently, presented that that's what you was trying to do. You attempted to accomplish and proving that I'm some type of, master leader, and I have a master cult that follows me. You feel what I'm saying? Because Luton is a masterful cult, and they're believing everything you say. And that's a bad thing. However, what you're actually telling me is that you can't understand how someone can accept a person for who they are. Now, you keep saying a psychological.
No. Let me correct you on that. Then I let you go. I'm not saying I can't accept a person for who they are, because I can accept anybody for who they are, but that don't mean I have to have dealings with them. That's what I'm saying.
But you just said that if there's a psychological murderer, that you that would be your enemy. So you don't accept them for who they are.
I do accept them for who they are. That don't mean I have to be around them. I don't have to have no dealings with them like I'm trying to allow them to come around me. That's what I'm saying. I don't have to try to find them out to kill them. That's not what that is. When I say I accept them for who they are, meaning if I seen Jeffrey Dahmer walking the street and I know he was a mad murderer, I'll just walk right past him. Why I'm gonna stop and engage or talk with him and like, hey, what's up, bro? Yeah, I know you're a killer. Come on in my chat, bro. Hey, I got something for you, bro. Come hang out with me. You can do more killing and everything else, bro. I got you. No, I'm not gonna do that, bro. I'm not gonna do none of that.
What you're saying is that I'm going outside and I'm finding killers and I'm bringing them to my cult.
No, I'm not saying you're going outside finding them, but I'm just saying that's the way it's gonna be if you even allow people like that to come around your kid, bro, your daughter.
All right,
a person like Jeffrey Dahmer around your daughter, how would that be? Give me the play out of that situation of how you think it would have played out. Just give me a scenario.
So what you're telling me is that if your daughter just happens to be Jeffrey Dahmer, fuck that bitch. I don't give a fuck.
No, I didn't say that. I just said
this is deep.
Listen to what I'm saying. I'm gonna address that question, but I asked you a question first before you asked me that, because you switched it when I told you to give me a scenario of Jeffrey Dahmer being around your daughter. Your daughter's not Jeffrey Dahmer, right? She's not Jeffrey Dahmer. We actually have a Jeffrey Dahmer and people like Jeffrey Dahmer who you said you will allow in your account. So I wanted you to give me a scenario of someone like Dahmer being around your people.
You're showing that you can't be a mature adult. You said, right, that that I am not just gonna go walk on the street and pick up a Jeffrey Dahmer, right? So what I said is that my family, so these are people that have been born unto my family or are connected by a bond. Now I explained multiple times that you would have to lead people into the light, as you would say, because you're considering calling my group a cult without actually calling them a cult. Yes, I am. So what you're telling me is that I would somehow bump into Jeffrey Dahmer on the street and I would allow Jeffrey Dahmer to be next to my daughter. Or are you telling me that if Jeffrey Dahmer was in my family, would I allow him to be next to my daughter?
Madison, go have a seat.
Well, basically, I asked you to give me a scenario. You run back all of that, what you allow him. You already said what you would do. Then you already throughout this recording said that you have boundaries, that you have external and internal. Did you say that already? So why are you going back over the same thing you said when I just asked you to give me a scenario of how would Jeffrey Dahmer fit in your family? I'm saying your organization. How would a person like that fit in your? Because you hold on, because you already said that. Hold on, listen to what I'm saying though. You already have said that this person you will feed their appetite of killing. You will make sure they have massive demands of objects or whatever, animals or whatever to kill, and you will have them even go around where people like to be hunted and stuff like that. You even said that. It's in the recording.
Yes.
One thing about me, one thing about me, bro, I got a good remembering and I reason real fucking good, dog. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, the things that you're saying, once you listen to this tape and this recordings and people listen to this recording, they gonna see, bro, you are really like, no, listen to what I'm saying, bro. You have a problem, and that problem is egotistic or want to be an egotistical leader. Don't be so rushed to be a leader where you'll let anyone inside of your organization just for trying to collide with their purpose. That's not what a leader are, bro. That's not what the type of leader that's who's trying to help a black society or humanity. Because if you're trying to help humanity, how you helping humanity when you allow killers to come around your precious daughter?
All right, I got you. I got you. You're rambling again. When did I say that I was trying to build a black society?
I just said for humanity or black society. That's what I'm saying. You ain't hear what I said. You just only heard black society. But this recording will tell you that I said black society and humanity, and all people.
First of all, do you want to have a conversation or do you want to lecture me? Because I can be lectured. I have no problem with that.
No, I mean, if I wanted to lecture you, you could have just sat back the whole time and just listened to me talk. Because I can just have a whole conversation by myself. You know, I got plenty of things to talk about and go in detail about. I just want to hear what you was talking about and bring out what we was talking about, and we was agreeing with each other in the beginning, and I was just showing my viewpoint of what you were saying.
No, what you did that this is how I proved, as if you came on a call with an agenda. That's what you said. Now, what I'm asking you is, do you want to have a conversation with me, or do you want to lecture me? Because I can be lectured. I have no problem with sitting here and listening to you lecture me. But is that what you want?
I mean, we had a conversation. We had a conversation going on throughout this time. But I'm lecturing you on what you will be looked at from the perspective of what you said on this recording. Now you can say that, well, I don't mean it like that, but you actually mean it like that when you're saying that you want to coincide with somebody who's a rapist. You want to coincide with somebody who that's a killer. You say you want to help them build or better their purposes. That's what you said in its own recordings, bro. So you can't say that you didn't say that. So you want to help a killer. Hold on. You said you want to help a killer be a better killer.
Did I say that I want to align myself with a rapist?
Yes. Yes, you said that. You know, now hold on. I'm gonna give it to you. Hold on, let me speak, bro. Let me speak.
Everybody online hears this.
Okay, can you let me?
Did I say
okay, but
this is the same
why
thing?
Why you feeling so? Okay,
this is the same thing.
You let me talk. I will let you know what I mean. Yes, you said that you want to collide. You want to collaborate with people, no matter what their situation are. You want to communicate. You want a communication system. That's what you said. Hold on, bro. Let me break your whole system down, bro. Because you explained something to me. Well, I'm breaking it down where you scared to
now the comment.
What is that? Hold up, bro. No, I'm breaking, bro. See, that's when two men go to talking and one feel intimidated when you're trying to talk over a man when a man is talking and breaking it down for you.
No, you
already said that.
You're giving me a lecture when you said we were having a conversation, and then we having questions. As you ask me questions, I will respond to them. So learn how to lecture someone without asking them questions if you don't want responses.
All right, you done now? Can I talk? Because I just listened to you talk. Now let me talk without you breaking in my piece. Because I want to make sure this be on recording. That's the whole reason why I recorded you. Because you said that you want to allow your purposes. Hold up. Let me
recorded me with an agenda that you said you didn't have.
No. Oh, okay. I can. Hold up, I can go back to the first when we I can go, bro. Let me talk, bro. I can go back to the people. I can go back to the people when we were first talking, and before me and you went to talking to these people, when me and you was talking about battling each other, and I didn't come at you with a battle syndrome. I came at you respectful. Now, how I really want to destroy you, I didn't come at you like that, bro. So I let this thing play out as two men talking. But listen, bro, listen to what I'm saying, bro. Listen to what I'm saying, though. before we were recording each other, me and you had words. So don't act like we didn't have no dispute with each other before I started recording. And that's the whole reason why I'm recording, but I didn't come on like that. I came on respectful and mannerable. That's how I came on. I didn't come at you how we had the dispute before we was recording. Because we were cursing and saying we would destroy each other and this and that about each other. But we didn't come on like that. And to the end, what I'm trying to show you about what you're saying is like you got to think about it. You saying you are allowing yourself with these people, no matter their creed or whatever, they race or none of that matter. Only thing you is basing your whole system on is communication. And you have breakdowns and systems for your communications in different degrees and areas. That's what you're saying. So I was asking you, is anyone applicable to your system? And you said yes. So I put it in a form as a murderer. You said yes. So in the same form as a murderer, that applied to a rapist as well, because you just want to help people in general. It don't matter who they are, their creed or whatever. I literally said that they creed, race, and try to put everything so I can let you know what I'm saying about what you're saying, who you are allowing to your system. It doesn't matter. You just want a communication system that you want to put it back together in its original form where everyone should be together and be as some type of family as in communication. That's what you're saying. That's how the system is based upon. That's what you're saying, bro. It don't matter who they are. You just want to help their purposes for communication purpose. That's your whole system, bro.
Can I speak now?
Yeah, bro, you can speak. I didn't take the mic from you.
I mean, you told me to shut up while you was talking, so I feel like more of you're putting me in the position where you're the master and I have to listen. I'm not sure if that's what you was attempting to do, but that's what you did. So basically, not only did you prove, or I already, you proved yourself on the context of what I said is that you came on here with an agenda. Right now, this is why I use words like cult, because you're saying, oh, you're not a cult, you're a civilization. That's what the word is based in. You feel what I'm saying? So we're agreeing the whole way, and this is what I call people trying to lure you in. This is the difference from a mental game and someone who's being genuine. This is the difference from someone being disingenuous and someone who's being genuine. I came on here, and I spoke to you based on what you were speaking about. So you said we were going to talk about science and philosophy. So we speaking on philosophy. I have a philosophy. You deal in science, philosophy. Actually, you said you're universal. So here's where the thing comes in. You're saying I'm not looking from both sides. I would have a killer around my kids. What I propose to you is that everyone has the ability to be a killer, which is why we deal in transformation, right? So someone can be the happiest person in the world, but a circumstance can turn that person into a killer. Now, you're saying, hey, if this person is born a killer and he just so happens to be Jeffrey Dahmer and he's out here killing everybody, are you going to align your purpose with that person? If that person is in my family, then his purpose is already aligned with mine. I'm not going to neglect the person because they were born to do a certain thing. It's only how they do that thing that makes that person my enemy. Now, what you're saying is, hey, well, that's crazy. How can you align your purpose with someone who's a killer? Well, the thing is that even if I killed that guy, someone else can turn into a killer in my group. And even if I found out and I killed that killer, someone else is going to be a killer. And which means that anyone around me can be a killer. So instead of me fighting them on what they want to do, I'll embrace it and I'll put it towards a positive outlook for my organization, because that is my only concern. Because survival is the first step. And then you know what comes after survival? Pleasure. And you know why pleasure is next? And pleasure is most important because if they feel pleasure from killing people, then I would be restricting their pleasure, restricting their individuality. And once again, like I told you, there's 3 steps. There's 3 laws in my organization, which is nurturing individuality, embracing transformation, and embodying unity. This guy can be a killer all his life, but then one day he can decide he no longer wants to be a killer. That's called transformation. This guy could be born. That's called individuality. Me aligning myself with that person so that my purpose doesn't clash heads with his purpose is called unity. What you fail to acknowledge is that what I'm doing is only being a good friend to my friend. You would literally go outside and jump somebody with your friend, even if your friend was wrong, because that's what friends do. Now, for you to say that I'm doing anything wrong is up to your opinion, but I would like to see you raise a family and then tell everyone in your family what they can and can't do. That's called being a dictator. What I'm doing is called being a friend. It's called being a father. It's called being a son. It's called being a brother. It's called being a kin. It's called being a husband. It's called being a wife. That's what it's called. People use those words every day. So don't try and put me in this box where I'm doing something wrong when actually I am doing something that's completely correct.
Well, I mean, if you feel that you're doing, something correct by allowing yourself with people purposes, no matter what their purposes are, then that's you. If like I said, that's you, but other people gonna have their say so about what you feel is right, because what you feel is right is not right in everyone's eyes. See what I'm saying? That's why they got the laws, and you can make your own laws, but your laws gonna have to bend to a bigger law that's in motion. So that's why people like Jeffrey Dahmer's, the law didn't coincide with what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Or other murderers and drug dealers, and the law don't coincide with that.
Your law.
That's why people hold up. That's why they got places for people like that. They put them behind bars in a maximum prison where they can't be seen or from no one, because these are dangerous people. This is what makes societies and little kids' life are in jeopardy. The future are in jeopardy by people like this, lunatics, psychos, who can go on a spree at any moment now. Cut up people's, eat their organs, sell their organs and stuff like that. I mean, who want to be around people like that, bro? Seriously. Nobody got time for that. Not me. Even I don't want nobody like that in my army. You know why? Because when you train an army of people, they're going to have decency. They're going to have decency about themselves, especially like the Egyptian back. That's why I say you got to go back and do historical research, bro. We are peaceful people by nature. That's why black people are in the situation that we are in now, because we are peaceful people by nature. So we are warriors too, but we are warriors in a form as.
I thought you was universal. Why do you keep sticking to one race?
Okay, but no, I'm sticking to one race right now because this is what I'm speaking on. And I'm universal when I'm breaking down the knowledge of universal, whether a person is separate or not, whether it's a black person or a white person. Because when I break down universal knowledge, it offends some people. It offends black people as well as white people. So universal knowledge is for everyone, but everyone is not for universal knowledge.
White people not naturally peaceful?
Huh?
Are white people not naturally peaceful?
You got some white people that are naturally peaceful. Yes, not all. Just like you don't have all black people that's naturally peaceful. You know what I'm saying? But by nature, hold up. Let me give you the breakdown, bro. Before you go to jumping in, let me give you the scale of what the majority of black people, bro, are peaceful people. The majority of white people are not peaceful people, and the history have proved that throughout times and times and millions of years, bro. Not even millions, because they weren't here millions of years. My bad. Millions of years that black people was peaceful people, and we was also warriors because we fought against each other. That's how we learned how to fight and kill, by killing and taming each other. Now we taught them this system, and they over dominate us with the same system that we taught them, and they still using it today. That's why you got all the black people love wearing diamonds when we are the rulers of diamonds. We are the ones that had diamonds plentiful. When diamond ain't mean nothing, gold ain't mean nothing, bro. Why you think black people get golds in their mouth? Cause back then we so used to gold. It's in our nature, bro. Gold is in our body. It run through our blood. See what I'm saying? But it don't run through their blood like that. So when you know the nature of people and why people do certain things, then you'll be able to relate to systems and philosophies and put them in the right manner, like real leaders like Yahweh ben Yahweh, Dr. Malachi Z. York, Honorable Elijah Muhammad. These type of people are depths.
Wasn't Dr.
They are in depth.
Wasn't Zoo York perceived to be a rapist in the government's eyes, and you said that we would all have to bend to the government's law. Didn't they arrest him?
Yes, they arrested him, but do you know what they arrested him for?
I was under the impression that he got arrested for child molestation.
Right, that's what you was under the impression of. So do your research and stop being under the oppression and come with facts and stop believing what you see in the media all the time. That's why a lot of people come at me the way that they come at me because hold up, let me finish talking. That's why a lot of people come at me.
Has he not been? Because let's be real, you said think about facts. So has he not been in court to face those charges?
Yes, he's been in court to face those charges.
Right. So I'm not feeding into the media. The court system actually.
You are feeding into the media, but because I'm gonna tell you, you feed into the media. Because what did you? Hold up. Okay, but let me ask you this. Hold up, let me ask you this because I know you're gonna try to do this to make a distraction because I'm busting you up, bro. So let me ask you a real question right now. If your daughter was in court, hold up, let me ask this question the same way I'm gonna place your daughter in Dr. Malachi's New York situation. Let me see how you figure this out.
I thought I told you before about that, bro.
Quiet and let me ask you this question because you try to bring Dr. Malachi's New York in and she was using that as like a swing of distraction. That's what you did. But now I'm gonna use you.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you.
Can you be quiet and let me talk? Because you scared to let me talk, but you asked me a question. Let's deal with facts.
I'm gonna say it as polite as possible because I have you on Facebook now, and I'm watching you just like you're watching me. Stop speaking about my kids in derogatory ways, bro. I'm going to tell you that one time and one time only. The more you continue, the more I get frustrated. So I'm being.
I know you get frustrated because you hold up. But no, I'm not using your kids in derogatory terms. I'm using your kids. I'm using your kids in a way where you need to think, bro. That's what I'm doing. I'm using your kids in a way that you need to think. That's what I'm doing. So if your daughter was in a situation like how they got Dr. Malachi's York, would you read the media or would you go do research to find out what actually happened?
Is Dr. Malachi's York your child?
I'm asking you, bro. I'm asking you a question. Can you answer the question?
That's your child. I'm asking you.
It ain't matter about the child. It's matter about the principle, bro. It's about the principle. Hold up.
We'll see how far that principle works for you. I'll tell you that. Bring my child up again, and we'll see how far the principle works.
Bro, hold up. First of all, you threaten me? You threaten me? Let me know right now. You threaten, bro. I will bust your fucking head, bro. You threaten me, bro.
All right, we'll see.
And matter of fact, this call is over with. I'm done with you, bro. I'll see you again. That's over with. I'll see you again, bro.
All right, I'm telling you right now. Watch.
That's over with. I ain't got no more to say, bro. You already said what you had to say. That's over with.